beautifuls, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Tailor Tales. So I bought all the necessity stuff, and I got myself my opera dress. This is great. I'm broke, but it's fine. Where's the outfit at? Wow, look beautiful. Look at that. Look at me. I'm wearing it. It's fine. Let's go. Let's go. It is almost 6 o'clock and I'm waiting for Angela to pick me up at my home so that we can attend the opera together and have dinner afterwards with her guest of honor. I'm all dressed up and I'm a little bit nervous as I've never been to an event like this and will probably feel out of place much like I felt out of place at the ball, but I have to stay strong. It's snowing so it's hard to make out what's going on in the distance. I can hear a car pull up and see a very fancy looking car in the street, and inside I see Angela who waves at me, beckoning me to come over and get in. Quickly I make my way over to the passenger side and open the door, making myself comfortable as I slip into the seat. Oh, she looks gorge! Everything on the inside is made from white leather. It's definitely an expensive car. It's very warm too. You ready to get bored? Asked Angela with a half-hearted laugh. I simply smile at her. I'm excited and nervous. Don't be. You probably won't even be able to follow what's going on, and the dinner won't be that exciting. But enough about that. You look lovely as always. That dress is to die for. Perfectly styled as well. I blush a little at the compliment. Angela presses the gas pedal and we're on our way to the opera house. We arrive to an old garage. Old and large building. Angela parks her car and both of us enter the building. It's full of groups of people conversing between the start of the show. Come on, let's go to our seats. Angela starts to hurriedly walk towards one of the gates. I try my best to keep up with her while wearing high heels. I hope you guys don't hear that lawnmower machine going off. We enter the auditorium, which is richly decorated with vintage designs. The detail of golden flecks in the distance is a stage. A large red curtain covers most of it. Tons of people are walking alongside the aisles, trying to get to their seats. Angela's looking at her tickets to find the right seats, and we make our way through the oceans of chairs. We end up sitting somewhere in the back, but at least the stage is in the middle. I look at the empty seats next to us. So, where are your guests of honor? I ask. Fashionably late, answers Angela. The auditorium gets filled with more and more people as time passes, and it's almost time for the show to start. That's when I hear someone call out Angela's name from behind us. Angela gets up from her seat and greets two people with an air kiss. You made it! It's the parents! It's the parents! They're an older man and woman, both dressed impeccably well. They give off this rich impression. The man is very intimidating looking, exuding a position of power. The woman is frail and thin, but her white skin makes her look even more vintage, like she stepped out of a painting. This is the girl I've been telling you about. This is Michiko Melody. The man sticks out his hand and I quickly accept a firm handshake. Marcus, and this is my wife, Evelyn. Those names click something in my head. Those are Neil's parents. I should have dared to look at Angela, who gives me an innocent smile. Nice to meet you, I say in a low voice. I immediately take my seat again and cross my arms. Angela didn't say anything about meeting Neil's parents. Please don't let this be part of some kind of... I'm surprised you were wearing something even remotely resembling modest this time. I look up from my seat. Oh, that's great. It's great. It's Neil. Angela, says Neil with a low growl after his eyes meet mine. Is something the matter here? Asks Marcus. Yes, there's something the matter here. Neil looks at his father, then back at me, then finally gives Angela a deadly look. No, everything is peachy fine, he says sarcastically. His father doesn't pick it up. You must be Neil's fiancé. It's so nice to meet you, dear. I've heard from Angela that you design your own clothes, asks Evelyn as she sits down. For a few seconds, I look like a fish out of water with my mouth opening and closing at random. I'm pretty sure Angela set me up under the pretense of inviting me to the opera, when really she was letting me meet Neil's parents to go through with her ridiculous scheme. And right after Neil had said he didn't want to see me anymore, I could kill Angela right about now. I'm going to scorn her so much after this. To be polite, we gotta be polite, though, like it's his parents. Why, yes I do. This dress was designed by me as well, I answer in the politest voice I can muster. It looks absolutely stunning on you. Don't you think so too, Neil? Says Evelyn. Neil, annoyed he's being asked for his opinion, simply continues to stare straight ahead of him and mumbles something in agreement. Don't you give me that kind of attitude, young man, says Evelyn in a sturdy voice. Compliment your date. It is only polite to do. It's nice to know at least his parents were trying to teach Neil some manners, because I can recall the many times it seems he left them at the door. Neil finally acknowledges me. You look nice, he says. I know he's being forced to say this, but those words sting. He already made it clear he doesn't want to see me, so hearing fake compliments thrown my way only makes it worse. I want to escape this hell, but I don't want to appear rude to Neil's parents, who don't really know what's going on here. It's not their fault Angela's conniving little... I'm almost starting to sound like Neil there. Oh, the show's almost starting. Evelyn claps her hands to get our attention. Now let's all enjoy this evening together. Speak for yourself. There's all sorts of emotions bubbling up inside of me, but I do my best to stay quiet for as long as possible. I just need to get through this, then I can leave. A crowd of people rushing in to find their seats as the red curtains open up. The auditorium quiets down. You can hear the shuffling of fabric and footsteps. A lady wearing a very big dress walks up onto the stage and stands in front of the orchestra. Then the violin starts playing. It sends chills down my back. It sounds so sad. After a short intro of strings, the rest of the orchestra starts playing and the woman starts to sing. I'll be honest, I'm only half paying attention to the show. I just keep thinking about Neil being here with his parents and how Angela tricked me into coming along. It's simply not something I expected of Angela, and I'm sorely disappointed in her for cooking up something like this. I want to leave as soon as possible. The opera slowly moves along, all the while I'm sitting on edge, and it's not because of the beautiful performance. Finally, the woman stops singing and the orchestra stops as well. There's an announcement they'll be back after a 20-minute break, and the crowd starts to leave their seats to grab something to drink or use the bathroom. I'm going to get something to drink, so I'll be right back, says Angela, and she speeds right out of there. I'm glaring her back. She's running away from having to face my wrath, and that's also when I realize I'm left alone with Neil and his parents. Are you enjoying the show? Asked Evelyn. I still had to be polite, even though I was barely following it. Yes, I am. It's lovely. We can never get Neil to enjoy them, so I'm glad someone his age does. Neil huffs out loud, then he gets up from his seat. I'm getting something to drink as well. Before Neil can leave, Evelyn pulls on her son's hand and looks over to me. Aren't you going to offer your date something to drink as well? Be a gentleman. Neil looks at me. I can see he wants to roll his eyes desperately, but he's restraining himself. Would you like to have something to drink, Michiko? I shake my head no. As soon as Neil gets his answer, he leaves. I'm left alone with his parents, and it's making me feel quite awkward. So, Michiko, where did you meet Neil? Oh no, Evelyn is going to ask me things about me and Neil. At least Marcus seems to be staying quiet. At a cafe. I accidentally spilled some coffee on him. Evelyn gives me a small chuckle. The old classic. I'm happy to see that it didn't sour your relationship from the start. I giggle nervously. That's pretty much the opposite of what happened. Me and Neil hated each other. What Neil thinks of me right now, I have no idea. I don't even know what to think of Neil at the moment. I kind of want to strangle him though, if that counts. Excuse me, I'm going to find the bathroom. I say so that I have an excuse to escape the question with Evelyn. Maybe I can find Angela and berate her for dragging me into this. I get up from my seat and leave the auditorium. Dude, I would have left right there. There's a bunch of people standing in line to get drinks or food, but I don't spot Angela or Neil anywhere. When I'm looking around for any bathroom signs, I suddenly feel my hand yanked on. I'm pulled aside against the wall away from the crowd. What are you doing here? Neil hisses at me. I glare at him. What are you doing here? I ask back and I free my hand from his. Jerk. I felt like I needed to add that. Neil is way too close for comfort, and it's giving me all too many conflicting feelings. I came here with my parents. No one mentioned I was going to be on some kind of date with my fake fiancé. Neil sounds completely pissed off. Well, I didn't know either, so stop making it sound like you're accusing me of something. Angela set me up. Neil backs away from me a bit and pauses to think. The angry expression on his face slowly fades into a milder one. I knew it. I knew she was going to pull you into her shenanigans. He looks at me with fierce eyes. I told you to stay away. Hey, just because you don't want to see me anymore doesn't mean I had to stop talking to Angela. She's my friend. Or what was. I don't know. What you're pulled right now definitely isn't acceptable, but you don't get a say in who I see or don't see. I understand. I have no control over who speak to, but perhaps I wasn't clear enough that day. Neil takes a step closer to me, trapping me with my back against the wall. If you want to live your life drama-free, then stay away from me and my lunatic of a cousin. It will only cause us trouble if you keep sticking around us. I get angry in return, having Neil say the same thing to me again. It hurt the first time, now it's simply infuriating. Neil, you're an enigma to me. One day you want me around, the other you're chasing me away. You don't even know what you want, right? What right do you have in deciding for me? I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions just fine. Well, gee, I didn't realize you liked being around me that much. Perhaps I should sign a photograph of myself and hand it over to keep you satisfied. Maybe frame it and hang it in your boutique, says Neil with sarcasm dripping from his voice. My face flushes red. I'm not saying that, I protest. Then what are you saying? Neil asks petulantly. I bite down on my lip. What am I saying? I don't know myself. This whole Neil thing was already complicated enough before we ever touch each other's lips. Let alone now when I'm roped into playing his fake fiance while Neil told me to stay away. I stare at Neil long and hard. I don't know what to say or to formulate my thoughts. He gazes right back into my eyes, and the murmur of the crowd falls to the background. Right now we only have eyes for each other. Something deep inside me starts to stir, and I look away from him to curb the feeling. I don't know, but I do know I don't like it when you go ahead and decide things for me. I hang my head down and fiddle with the fabric of my gown. Typical, says Neil with a huff. I should have turned around the moment I saw you sitting down in that seat. You're free to leave, I snap back. I will leave after the show ends. I'm sure I can come up with a good excuse to skip dinner. She invited you over for dinner as well? Asked Neil, sounding surprised. I didn't know it was going to be your parents, okay? But I'm not going to stick around and play house with you, not when you so eloquently told me to stay away from you. Finally sick of discussing this with Neil, I turn around, ready to walk away and find the bathroom, but I'm stopped once more as Neil grabs my hand again. Wait, he says. I sigh in defeat and look him in the eyes. Now what? Parents. They can't find out. Dude, I'm not playing this with you! You're hurting my feels! Find out I'm not really your fiancé? I say with a huff. At least you have some amount of brains in that head of yours. Continue insulting my intelligence and I'm walking out of here right now, I warn him. Neil swallows and the expression on his face softens. The hold he has on my hand relaxes as well, and he covers it with his other hand in a reassuring way. My apologies. I'm a little on edge in taking it out on you, when I should be taking it out on Angela. I'm a bit speechless with how fast Neil apologized for his mean comment. I didn't expect it, not in a million years. Neil takes a deep breath. I know I told you to stay away from me, and I promise after this you won't hear from me again. However, I'm asking you if you can hold out until after the dinner before leaving. I can still salvage things afterwards. Pretend to be his fiance for the night only if he apologizes first? Or tell him off? I really want to tell him off right now. That's rude. Because inside of me, I do love him very much. I guess I'll pretend. I have no obligation towards you to go along with the scheme, I say in a steady voice, especially not after you told me to stay away from you. Neil shuffles on his feet, his eyes avoiding mine. I know what I said, he mumbles, but this is only for tonight. Regardless whether it's only for tonight or for an entire year as Angela had planned, your words were very hurtful that day, and I wanted a sincere apology from you before I will agree to anything. I just did, he hisses at me. That was an apology for what happened 2 weeks ago, and you know it, I argue back. Neil bites down his lip, giving me a pointed and conflicted look. He starts pacing back and forth in front of me, his fingers running nervously through his black hair. He stops in his tracks, his shoulders slumping in defeat. Was it really that awful of a suggestion? He asked in a small voice. Suggestion? It wasn't much of a suggestion when you tell me to stay away from you and then leave my store. What else could I have done? Neil barks out. Let Angela drag you through the mud as she is now? I'm my own person, Neil. I have my own agency. Let me make my own choices and leave me to deal with the consequences. Don't decide it for me. There, I got it all out. The reason why I was so angry at him, he was deciding things for me when it wasn't what I wanted at all. Neil's golden eyes are wavering. He looks conflicted about something going on in his head. Or mind, sorry. If only I knew what was going on in that mind of his, things would probably be a lot easier between us. He starts swallowing his own voice. I thought it was for the best, and yet things still turned out this way. His Just peers through his eyelashes and or I or he what? Into my own eyes or whatever. I feel myself holding my own breath in anticipation of what he's about to say. I'm sorry for hurting you. It wasn't my intention. I wanted to spare you the drama. He wanted to spare me the drama by creating drama? Great thinking there, Neil. Brilliant. Nonetheless, he apologized and it sounds sincere as well, and I would have never expected something like this coming from Neil of all people. Well, it certainly didn't work out that way, I say with a slight smile, but apology accepted. Neil lets out a relieved sigh. So, will you please be my fiancé? Your fake fiancé? No. Other people passing by overhear Neil's words and suddenly start going, "Oh, he's proposing!" when he's not. Both Neil and I turn red at the misunderstanding. It really did sound like a proposal. Neil backs away from me in embarrassment. Well, don't leave the people hanging. Neil bites out. What's your answer? I try to control the blush on my cheeks, reminding myself this is a fake proposal, and I think it over. I did apologize just now, and I guess pretending for one night couldn't hurt. Kind of happy Neil's talking to me again, and my feelings of anger have subdued. Alright, but you owe me. Big time. That's not a very cute answer, but it's fine. Niels looks up at me with hopeful eyes. Really? I'd expect you to agree. He sounds baffled. I can easily revoke my answer if you want me to. No, I can't do this without you. That was unexpected. I didn't think Neil would say something like that. Then again, there's a lot of things Neil has done in the last 5 minutes that I would have never expected. Neil flashes me a genuine smile. He looks so relieved. Have we seen him smile like this before? I don't think so. Thank you, Michiko. I really do appreciate it. That smile is way too heart-throbbing for me. Neil rarely smiles, so whenever he does, it's like an arrow being shot through my heart. I look away from him to calm myself down. Alright, let's head back then. What? This isn't over yet? Do I still have to wear the same dress? I don't know. But I need more money after this. I managed to get through the entirety of the show without boiling over with emotions. I still haven't gotten the chance to speak to Angela in private. And judging by the evil looks Neil has been giving her, he wants to talk to her too. I still need to give her a piece of my mind though. After the show is over, we make our way back to the parking lot as we're heading out to a restaurant for dinner. Neil leaves with his parents, me with Angela. I'm with Angela. Angela, you have some serious explaining to do, I say once we're both seated inside. Whatever do you mean? It was a lovely performance, was it not? She says, feigning innocence. She sounds a little tipsy as well. Angela, don't be like that. I'm really angry that you pulled me into this without even giving me a heads up. Oh, don't be dramatic. I invited you over for a show and a dinner. It's not the end of the world. Angela starts the car and we're on our way. It is when the purpose of this was to get me to meet Neil's parents for some kind of scheme. They think I'm dating Neil. That is not alright with me. For being as outspoken as you are right now, I didn't really see you kicking up a fuss in front of his parents though. Could it be that you're secretly okay with it? I'm not okay with it. I just didn't want to be rude. Angela, I really am upset about this, and so is Neil. Did you know a couple of weeks ago he approached me and told me to stay away from him? You know why he said this? Because he didn't want you to dragging me into madness like this. Angela stays quiet, keeping her eyes on the road. No need to blow a gasket here, dear. It's just for one dinner. That's all I'm asking for. But you didn't even ask me, I fire back. Look, drastic times call for drastic measures. If you can get through this one dinner, Neil's parents will get off his back. I will not let Neil work himself to death. Work with me here. Don't fail me now. I have high hopes for you. Angela pushes down the gas pedal and to speed up the car. I'm in a whirlwind of questions right now. We arrive at the restaurant with Neil and his parents joining in afterwards. It's a fancy-looking place, richly decorated with staff wearing traditional uniforms. One of them greets us. Welcome, Mr. and Miss Forrester. How's your evening? The waiter definitely seems familiar with them. Right this way, please. Your table is waiting for you. Waiting you? The waiter starts to walk. The waiter leads us to a large table with a ton of cutlery neatly arranged. This is one of those fine dining restaurants, and while I've been to maybe a couple, I feel like I'm going to mess up on which utensil to use while eating. I'm about to grab the chair to sit down when Neil pulls it out in front of me. I look into his eyes. There's probably a giant question mark hovering above my head right now. I take it he's putting up an act, so I sit down as elegantly as I can and give him a delightful fake smile. I can't believe I have to do this. Thank you, I say. I hope my sarcasm isn't dripping from my words. Neil nods at me and takes a seat next to me, staying silent all this time. Angela is seated next to him. She seems to be quite pleased with herself, and Neil's parents sit opposite of me, looking as if they've been regulars at this restaurant for years. What would you like to drink this evening, madam? The waiter asks me. Some sparkling water would be nice, I answer. I almost regret it. Alcohol might have made the situation more bearable. Everyone else except for Neil all order white wine. I slightly wonder if Angela should even be drinking now. She already sounded tipsy before, and she used my ride home. There's a lull in the conversation. I can feel the eyes of Neil's parents staring at me like I'm some kind of science experiment. It's really uncomfortable. I distract myself by opening up the menu card. There's 2 pieces of paper glued to the inside of the brown binder, both pages filled with only 4 choices, each a 7-course menu. Right. Fine dining means tiny food portions. There's fish, pork, beef, and vegetarian menu. I quickly make a random choice. We all take our orders, and I hope I won't be getting served anything strange like boiled snails or something. I look down at the cutlery. There's so many knives and forks. I'm not quite sure what it's all used for. Neil suddenly leans in closer to me, his sleeve brushing up against me. Work from the outside in, he whispers to me, and he gestures towards the utensils. I half expected him to throw an insult my way for not knowing the proper etiquette, and compare my elegance to that of a baby. This is the last time I'm going to eat in a place like this, I whisper back to him with a forced smile on my face. I am in complete agreement of that, he whispers with a scoff. Don't be keeping secrets from us like that. Share it with the rest of the table, says Evelyn, who noticed us whispering to each other. I sit up straight in embarrassment for being called out, and so does Neil. Angela laughs at the comment. Oh, let those lovebirds have their private conversations. I bet they're just saying the sweetest words to each other, says Angela. I shoot her a glare. She's so going to get chewed out later for all of this. Now I realize why Neil warned me about her shenanigans. They're completely insane proposals. I look back at Neil's parents, and I can't bring myself to tell them, hey, actually, I'm just pretending to be into your son here. It's all an act. That will make it even more awkward than it already is. Besides, I sort of told Neil I was okay with keeping this facade going. The drinks arrive, and Angela immediately drinks almost all of her wine. We all stay silent, and I wonder if I should say something, but Evelyn beats me to the punch. So, Michiko, designing these dresses, is that a hobby of yours? Evelyn asks. A hobby? Excuse me, ma'am? I'm a devoted, I'm a bit offended at that. No, it is my passion and my life's work, I reply honestly. Neil starts nervously fiddling with his fork, balancing it on his finger and refusing to look at anyone or speak. Is that so? Is all Evelyn says. What did you study at the university? Marcus joins the conversation. Neil tenses up when Marcus starts to speak. I feel like I'm being picked and prodded at with a stick. This is uncomfortable for me as well. I went to the Art Institute of Gion, and I got a bachelor's in fashion there. Huh, another art school. Marcus looks at Neil as he says this. A waste of time and money. Oh damn, dude. I frown at the man. Why would he call it a waste? Neil keeps tapping the spoon against the table, going faster and faster until it launches out of his hand and with a soft clink lands in between my chair and Neil's. I can feel it touch my heels, so I bend down to pick it up. At the same time, Neil tries to reach for the spoon as well, and we softly bump our heads against each other. His eyes are wide and staring into my own, our fingers slightly touching. My heart starts to beat faster. Nerves overrunning my body. We're so close we could sneak a kiss behind this table. Excuse me, Neil mumbles. He closes his eyes and then leans even closer, his black hair brushing against the side of my cheek. For a second, I really think he's going to kiss me, but instead he lifts the spoon from the ground. Slowly, Neil sits up straight again and places the spoon down on the table. I go up and straighten my back up as well. Stop being so clumsy, boy, Marcus says with a grunt. Neil tenses up and he immediately hangs his head down in response. He's so meek. It's so weird to see Neil off his game. I guess they didn't teach you how to use your utensils in art school. Wow, this dad is mean. He sounds so high and mighty. I'm annoyed by that comment, as well as his previous comment about art school being a waste of time and money. Isn't it the parents' job to teach their child table manners, or why do you think art school is a waste? No, let's not jab about his like parent teaching stuff. I can see how Neil tenses up, and I'm a little irritated by that comment as well. Why do you think art school is a waste? I ask him. Fashion school was not a waste. It was my dream to pursue. Marcus grumbles underneath his breath. Useless education with no prospective jobs out there. No one was insinuating that your education was a waste. After all, I'm one of your biggest fans, pipes in Angela. Michiko made this dress for me as well. And for once, it makes you look like an elegant young lady, says Evelyn. Sometimes you show off too much skin, my dear. A lady should dress more modest, like Michiko here. On one side, I have someone calling my bachelor's a waste, and on the other side, I have someone praising my work. It's all a little bit strange, and I desperately want to escape from talking about myself. I look towards Neil for support, but he looks even more out of his element than before. Great, can't count on him. It seems Neil caves under his parents' pressure. A little skin never hurts anybody. Besides, I think Neil likes to see a little bit of skin, says Angela, and she winks at me. Oh, that's awkward. I kind of want to die right now, and I can feel Neil growing uncomfortable as well. I managed to catch him knocking his knee hard against Angela's under the table to get her to quit making those comments. Anyways, let's drink. Let's drink to Michiko and Neil, who are getting married. Angela raises her glass of wine. I wish the ground could swallow me right now. This is getting too much to bear. I have the weirdest fake-looking grin on my face. It's a miracle no one can see the obvious discomfort written on it. Just pretend for one dinner. It should be fine. You can do it. Raise that glass. I take my glass and slowly raise it, seeing Neil do the same. Neil turns his head to look at me. To us, he says weakly. For some reason, that makes my heart beat faster. I know it's fake, but hearing him toast to our fake marriage is kind of giving me some very strange feelings. We all clink our glasses together. The dinner runs without many hiccups. Evelyn keeps barraging me about myself, firing questions after question, whereas Marcus hasn't really said anything after he berated Neil for his manners. Neil has been completely quiet during the whole meal as well, only sometimes responding with one-syllable words. It's so strange to see him like this, so weak, so quiet and meek. I'm not used to this Neil. It's really odd. On the other hand, the one thing that felt very much the same still is Angela, who has been getting more and more tipsy. The tipsier she got, the more she teased us about being a couple. She was coming up with fantasy scenarios of us going out on dates to museums and whatnot, describing it with way too much detail. It was awkward to say the least. By the time we're all done with our desserts, Angela's clearly too drunk to drive, so Neil offers to drive her home instead. It was very nice meeting you, Michiko, says Evelyn. Do let us know when you can join us again. I would love that. I simply smile at her, knowing full well there won't be next time. I had a very nice evening. Thank you very much for inviting me. Michiko, says Neil all of a sudden. I turn to face him. It's so strange to look at him now when we've been sitting side by side this entire time, hearing about our fake romantic escapades. I'll drive you home. Alright. Obviously, Angela's in no state to be driving. We all bid our goodbyes to Neil's parents, and we all managed to get inside Angela's car without much protesting from Angela. I sit in the passenger seat next to Neil, looking at him as he grips the steering wheel with his hands. Just like me, Neil's on edge, and we're both pretty displeased with Angela's actions. Speaking of Angela, she's singing songs in the backseat of the car. Love songs, to be exact. For what it's worth, I think you two make a very convincing couple, she says with a giggle. You and I will be having a very serious discussion when you sober up, says Neil with a chill in his voice. I won't be letting you off the hook. Oh, come on, lighten up, Neil. Your parents loved her. Or well, Evelyn did. Marcus was a grump. But he's always a grump. Grumpy grump. Angela starts to slur her words. Angela, why don't you close your eyes and get some rest? I asked, begging for her to stay silent. Angela doesn't seem to quite listen to me and continues to sing random love songs, but at least she's not making any strange comments. My eyes glance over towards Neil, seeing him look so serious as he stares at the road. I know he asked me to play along after all, but I wonder what he thinks of this entire situation. My thoughts drift back to Angela's fake dates, and I start to wonder what it would be like to date Neil for real. I try to imagine where Neil would take me out, and I'm pretty sure he'd take me to an expensive restaurant such as this one as well, and would probably open car doors for me. I snicker at myself. That would be really strange to see. Then again, it felt kind of nice when Neil pulled out the chair for me. It's an old and outdated custom, but it was strangely satisfying to see that Neil would try to make an impression on someone. Or at least I think he would try. Eventually, we arrive at Angela's apartment, and Neil goes upstairs with her to make sure she doesn't sleep outside of her own front door. I anxiously wait Neil to come back and be alone again. I guess now would be the time I won't be seeing Neil anymore. He did say he promised I won't be hearing from him again after tonight. The thought leaves me sad. I need to speak to him about this. Neil is back before I knew it, startling me when he opens the car door. He sits down with a heavy sigh, placing his hands on the wheel again. I really do apologize for tonight. For Angela, he says as he starts the car. I slowly nod my head. I know it's not his fault that Angela did something like this. Her parents weren't too bad, I say. Then I remember what his father said about art school. You went to an art school too, right? For your interior design. Angela mentioned it as well before. Angela blabs too much. Well, I can't disagree with that. Did you ever end up finding work for it? I decide to ask. No, is Neil's simple and curt answer. He shifts around in his seat. I started an internship at the hospital straight after graduation. My father wanted me to follow in his footsteps and learn on the job as soon as possible. Oh, that's kind of sad, I say without thinking. It is what it is, he says. I guess his father wasn't too keen on him studying interior design and wanted him at the hospital straight away. You think your hours will get cut after this dinner? Neil shrugs. Can't be too sure of anything. If it were up to my mother, she'd have me work 1 day a week, but it's all up to my father. I wanted to disagree with him right there and say he actually has a choice in whether or not he wants to work for his father, but I decided to keep silent. Your mother seems nice. At least I can be honest about that. A bit privy to information, but nice. Sounds like someone I know, says Neil with a snort. Are you talking about me? I say indignantly. Who else sticks their nose into somebody else's business as much as you do? No, I don't, I mutter. That would be Angela. I say that last part quietly. Neil doesn't respond to that, except he puts his hand on the stick to shift it into gear. We stay silent for a while, keeping our eyes on the road. That watch you broke, says Neil all of a sudden. It was a gift from Angela, for my graduation. Oh, that makes sense, I guess. Angela seems to have been born into a rich family as well. I'm a bit surprised that Neil volunteered to share this piece of information with me. That felt like forever ago when I broke his watch. It's almost as if we're having an actual conversation. She had high hopes that we'd be working closely together at the same firm. Unfortunately, life didn't work out that way. My voice died out. I don't know. It didn't work out that way. Neil seems sad as he says this. Like he's reminiscing past memories that never came to fruition. Sorry, not fruition. That's not a word. I'm intrigued on one side, and on the other side I'm worried what will happen when we reach my house. It's too bad, I say. At least I realized my dream. I can't imagine being forced to do something else that isn't even related. Forced. I'm unsure if that's the right word for this situation. However, I have been forced to work at times, or should I say hounded until I gave in. Neil sighs out loud. Actually, do you remember the day I walked into your boutique for the first time? How could I forget? You mistook me as a boy in one of my childhood pictures. Neil shoots me a dirty look. Disregarding that, I was there by pure accident. My father's secretary was following me the entire time, yapping about some meeting I should have been attending. She drove me mad, that woman. Still does. I figured I needed to devise a way to get rid of her. I tried to piece together the puzzle. Neil had seemed anxious that day when he entered. So you mean to say you were in my boutique that day because you were hiding from her? I wouldn't exactly call it hiding, says Neil begrudgingly. I would definitely call it hiding, I correct him. Neil glances at me again and I expect him to retort with something like, I'm used to, but this time he chuckles. I suppose I was. I'm at a loss of words at the moment. Seeing him laugh so earnestly with me, it's making my heart clench up. I want to see all of these different sides of Neil that he never shows. They're all so interesting. It resonates strongly within my heart. I don't want to stop seeing him. Neil, I call out, awkwardly fiddling with my fingers. Since, the worst part has already happened, I tell Angela can play more tricks on us. Do you still want to... No, he's gonna say no. Neil turns the wheel. We've arrived at my street. Do I still want to what? He asks. The car rolls to a stop. It's dark outside. Only a few streetlights are on, and we're the only ones here. I look down at my hands. They still want to stop seeing me. I manage to say out loud. I hold my breath. Neil exhales not softly, slowly, rubbing his hands on the steering wheel like he's afraid to let go. He squeezes his eyes shut, then turns off the engine and opens his car door. Get out. I'll walk you to your door, he says while getting out of the car. He's completely ignoring my question, but I quickly get out of the car as well, nervous about what he's going to do. I don't know, bro. I feel like I'm going to get rejected. Like, again. I shakily hold my purse close to my body and watch as Neil make his way around the car to approach me. Neil brushes his fingers through his black hair as he stands next to me in front of my boutique. His eyes are cast downwards, refusing to meet mine. I can feel my heart thump loudly in my chest as I start to walk towards my front door, with Neil following me behind. We both stop at the door. I can only remember what happened last time, but this time I'm scared it's going to be the opposite. I have goosebumps. This is making me sad. I turn to face him, but neither of us can look each other in the eye. Neil, I say softly, please answer me. Isn't it better this way? Is it? I question. Just spent the entire night pretending to be my fiance, entertaining my parents with the idea that I might actually have someone who tolerates me enough to marry me. Neil finally looks at me. And you don't think it's smarter if we simply never see each other again to avoid such disasters as tonight? And didn't I say I'm an adult who can make their own decisions? I protest. I can handle disasters. I stare at him. Besides, is that really what you want? Can you really look at me and say you don't want to see me anymore? Oh, that line, so powerful. Neil's eyes shift to the left and right, unable to look me in the eye. He's fidgeting too much, like he's nervous. Michiko, don't, says Neil, and he catches my gaze. Don't make me waver in my decision. Why not? I ask him innocently. Neil gives me a conflicted look. He probably doesn't know what to do either. So, feeling bold enough, I lean closer to him and reach for his hand, my fingers sliding across the skin of his palm until I've got a firm grip on it. Hello? I press my body even closer and I can feel him flinch back, but he doesn't seem to be rejecting my advances. No, I can feel him close his fingers around mine, grasping tightly. I raise my other arm up so that I can reach Neil's black hair. It's gotten longer. Has it? I say softly. I twirl a lock of black hair around my finger. Neil's arm is suddenly wrapped around my waist ever so slightly. Don't, he murmurs softly. Finally, I lay my head against his chest, our bodies molding together, and I whisper, Are you wavering yet? Neil breathes out a breath he's been holding. Then he buries his face into my hair, using his arm to pull me into a warm embrace. I can hear his heartbeat fast against my ear. Dirty tactics, he mumbles. Hello? I can't read now. He tightens his embrace and I cling onto him as well, feeling excitement run through my body. Cheater, he says against my ear. We stay like that for a bit, bodies unable to separate from one another, enjoying the warmth from this embrace. I've been waiting for this embrace, been waiting to touch him again after that day he told me to stop seeing him. It feels so much better in his arms. I'm a fool, Neil sighs, and nuzzles his nose into my hair. It's giving me goosebumps. Really good goosebumps. The moment is cut short, as Neil finally distances himself away from me, taking all his warmth with him. I feel naked without his embrace. I need to bid you a good night, he says in a stiff tone. Even under the dark of the night, I can faintly see some traces of a pink hue on Neil's cheek. And his eyes. His eyes. Okay. They're looking at me so lustfully, and I can't bear to look away from them. You still haven't answered me, I point out. I haven't gotten an actual response from him. Neil bows his head. Regardless if I want to see you or not, it seems to have no bearing on whether or not I will actually see you. What's that supposed to mean? Neil shrugs with a smirk. It means eventually I'm going to see you whether I like it or not. I poke my finger into his chest. That's still not an answer. Can't you just say a simple yes or no, Mr. Simple and Clean? There's a hand on the side of my waist, and suddenly Neil brings me in close, our bodies bumping into each other, his hips grinding into mine. Neil lowers his head and kisses my lips. Oh, he's so cute! Whoa, Neil's being bold. I'm caught off guard. I respond to his kiss lightly. I hate it when they're so descriptive because it's so awkward for me to read. Lily's sucking on those warm lips that I've missed. I've missed them so much I can't even put it into words. I press myself closer to him and he responds to my enthusiasm with his own, caressing my back with his hand and licking the rims of my lips. Did you guys hear his noise? Okay. I suck hard on his lips, so hard it's like I pulled out a groan from his throat, because his voice vibrates deep inside of me. We're finally apart and I don't cut eye contact with him. His eyes are only half open. I'm mesmerized. Does that answer your question? Oh, Neil, you're so great. Yes, action before, like, words. Action speaks louder than words. It says in this out-of-breath voice. I want to say it raises up way more questions than it answers, but at the moment I feel too weak in my knees to be able to explain anything properly. Bashfully, I nod my head at him. It's good enough for now. I bring my fingers to my lips and lightly touch them. They're still tingling, but I know the night muse come to an end, so I reluctantly take a step backwards. Alright, good night, Neil, I say. Neil bows away and quickly retreats to his car, and he's gone before I know it. My feelings for Neil are such a mess right now. That was a lot of freaking reading, and this episode for today is extremely long. So sorry, not really sorry, because that was a beautiful chapter. Again, I don't know how many chapters Neil has, because I am broke and I need to make some more money. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.